Well, kia ora and welcome into the Harness Half Hour, now proudly brought to you by Airpark Canterbury and HRNZ Marketing. This week on the show we feature an interview with Kirstin Barclay, who along with training partner Tank Ellis collected a huge haul of 4 wins at Invercargill last Saturday on Diamonds Day, including the exciting U May Cullect, whom she drove to another emphatic win, and we may see him again this season yet. We also have live interviews from last Wednesday's Timaru Anzac meeting, where we chat to Club President Elizabeth Shand, junior driver Kerryn Tomlinson and prominent owner Wendy Nordqvist. And as usual, Richard Wilson is with us from the Bookmaker's desk, but first, here are the headlines. Alexandra Park headlines from Friday night, and in a short wrap, Anzac Cup that was taken up by Sunday's Sun. It was a huge run from the rear of the field for John and Robert Dunn and the Hare family. Spankham headed home the Taylor Mile field, beating stablemate Turn It Up for the All-Stars. And the All-Stars also had the Quinella in the Caduceus Club 2-year-old fillies Classic with Amazing Dream, recording a new New Zealand record beating Sweet on Me. And the Group 2 Sire Stakes Trotters Championship was taken out by Tickle Me Pink for Tony Hurley and Brecon Farms. Belle of Montana did New Zealand proud by winning the Victorian Oaks at Melton on Saturday night for Barry Purdon and Zachary Butcher, and she'll now return to New Zealand to build up to the Jills in the Neverly Fillies final. And the Diamonds Day wrap, Memphis, Tennessee was successful for Team Schmiel in the Group 2 Southern Supremacy. Press for Time took the Group 2 Southern Oaks final for John Dunn and Tom Bagri. And Virgil was successful for the All-Stars team, and Tim Williams in the Group 2 2-year-old Classic. Vintage Cheddar took the Southern Country Cup's final, although the overall points winner for that was Sagwitch. Well, carrying on from the massive performances recently for the stable, Kirstin Barclay and Tank Ellis, of course, recording 4 winners at Ascot Park on Diamonds Day on Saturday. Kirstin's joining me from Arete Beach by the sounds of things. And Kirstin, how are the team feeling after that massive day at the office?
They have pulled up so well. It's actually quite unbelievable. Especially U May Cullect just bounced around the paddock like an idiot. You wouldn't even think he had a run. So, yeah, it's really pleasing to see how well they've come through.
And 4 winners for the day, so you had Wee Man Trouble, U May Cullect, Paddy Proudfoot and Chuckles. Kirstin, in just the first season and training partnership with Tank, you've already picked up 28 wins. Did you two ever believe that you'd be at this target at this stage of the season?
Oh, no, we couldn't have imagined it could go this well. At the start of the season, I've got a board at Tisbury Barn and we've got our goals written out for the season, and our goal was 25 wins. So when we surpassed that on Saturday, I was just like, wow, you know, we've really kicked some goals and really proud of what we've been able to achieve so far.
And really special too, obviously, to have the likes of Tom Kilkelly as an owner pick up those wins as well.
It was actually quite an emotional day for us. Julie's mother passed away during the week and we had her funeral on Friday, so for Tom's 2 horses to come out and win for Tom and Julie on Saturday was really touching, and I'm just so proud that we could do that for Julie. It's been a really tough time for her, so yeah, it was really special.
Oh, most certainly. And of course, we've got to talk about U May Cullect, or Carlos as we've come to know him, because we feel like we almost know him, the way the industry's been drawn towards this horse. And chatting to Tom on the show a few weeks ago, Kirstin, it sounds as though this horse has just had the worst luck with injury. So do you hold your breath every time you go out to the paddock the next day?
Yeah, it's at the point where I try not to look at him. Tank will have him get up for me ready to drive, and he can see me looking. He's like, oh, just have a look at his leg. I'm like, yeah, you sort of always, I try not to focus on it too much now, but the leg's that good, it's sort of, you're starting to forget about it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess the whole industry now watching him, he's 4 from 4. And Kirstin, can you explain to those of us who are sitting at home or on the grandstand watching him, what does it feel like to sit behind a horse with such a massive motor?
Oh, I actually can't explain it. I've got nothing to compare him to. I just shake my head, every time, especially on Saturday, we worked out of the gate and he settled so well. He just dropped the bit and he just felt like he was just doing jog work. Every time I come in and hear the times that he's run, it's just like, I just shake my head. I just can't believe it because it feels like we're crawling. I don't know. I can't explain. It's just a dream come true.
Yeah.
To drive him.
Yeah, exactly. And he's a horse that's, people from all over the country are really getting behind, and the way he won at Addington as well, it was almost like he had to come to the big smoke and prove his point, and he just left people flabbergasted. Do you feel a bit of pressure now every time he steps out onto the track?
Yeah, that's something I've got to learn to cope with. I haven't been in this situation before, but once I'm on the track, I'm fine. I do get a bit nervous beforehand, and I think it's just because as soon as we get on course, people are talking about him and coming up to see him and that, and you sort of, mainly I just don't want to let the horse down and, do something wrong. But, he just, once you're on the track, he just gives you so much confidence, it's hard to explain. As soon as I get on the track with him, he just makes me feel so confident that you just can't wait for the gate to go.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess what kind of emotions go through you once you've come home at the head of the field and you're returning to the birdcage, and you can actually hear on the audio as he crossed the line on Saturday the applause that went through the grandstand. What does that make you feel as a harness racing fan, as a harness racing driver and trainer, when you come back into that birdcage?
Oh, I'm just so proud. I'm just so proud of the horse. As everybody knows, he's had problems, and I just love him so much. I just get so proud of him, and just really proud to be a Southlander, and everybody's just jumped on board and given us so much support. And you get back to the stables and there's never enough buckles for everybody to undo. Everybody, your good friends and that are all, want to help, and just an amazing sense of pride. So proud of him, and just proud to be a Southlander, and I think that's why everybody loves him so much.
Yeah, exactly, and being by, a stallion that isn't on vogue or in fashion, he kind of, and given all the injuries he's had, he gives people hope too, doesn't he? That, like Tom Kilkelly went to an all-age sale and picked up a weanling, and look what he's got out of it. Yeah,
exactly. As I always said, those really good ones can come from anywhere, and he certainly has. I mean, it is a solid family when you look further back. It has been a good winning family, but as you said, by a not fashionable stallion, and just two little Southlanders that train him, and I think that's why people do really get on board with him. He's just a 5-year-old, just ordinary people training him and having a bloody good time.
That's right. He's giving everyone hope, I guess, is the big word, hope and excitement, and we just cannot wait to see him out on the track again. And I know, Kirsten, there was talk that he would potentially go out for a break, but he's pulled up so well that you guys are still in the process of making up your mind as to what will happen with him next.
Yeah, initially after the race we were like, that's it, he can go out for a wee spell, and then Tank, I spoke with Tank yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, this horse is so well. He's just on the improve. The leg's so good." So we're still we're still talking and sort of looking at a program of what we might do. Obviously, Cup Week is the goal next season, so we're still basing our decisions around that. So we're still nothing in the pipeline. He's having a few days off still as it is, but we're just sort of rethinking things. Yeah.
And, well, good on you. And as I say, congratulations on behalf of the listeners and the whole harness racing industry. Thank you very much for looking after this horse and getting him to this point. And we just wish you all the best. You've got the whole country behind you and the team.
Thank you very much.
And in social media news this week, starting off with New Zealand, well done to Brendan Hill, who collected his 200th training success at Timaru last Wednesday with Fancy. Don't forget, our website is changing also. We'll launch a new and improved Harness Racing New Zealand website this Wednesday, May the 1st. It will be responsive to all devices and cleaner to read, with all of the same great tools and information you already receive, plus more. You can check out hrnz.co.nz for more updates. From Australia, Kiwi filly Bella Montana scoops Group 1 success in the Victoria Oaks. For more information on that and Victoria feature racing, you can check out Harness Racing Victoria on Facebook. And from the USA and Canada, we wish our friend Anthony McDonald of thestable.ca a speedy recovery after he was involved in a nasty race fall in a trial at Mohawk over the weekend. He came out with a broken wrist, ribs and a collapsed lung, but he is in good spirits and can still talk remarkably. You can follow him on Facebook via the Stable's Facebook page. We're here in the winners' room at the Phar Lap Raceway, of course, Timaru Harness Racing Club President Liz Shan joining me. Liz, we're building into the Mother's Day meeting, which is always a highlight for the club.
Yes, it is. On Sunday the 12th of May, our ladies and women in the industry enjoy coming out on this day. It's focused not just on our ladies in the industry, but also our mothers to celebrate Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. On the day we've got 2 lady drivers, woman races, which we've had in past years, which are very popular. This year we've got the Tomlinson girls, Amanda, Cherie and Kerryn, so that will be entertaining, and I know Amanda's a former winner, so she's keen to line up and compete. Yeah. We also have lucky draws for our ladies on the day that are on course, glass of bubbly for ladies that are coming on course. Mm-hmm. We also at 10 o'clock are looking to have a breakfast, attracting for our ladies just to enjoy the day beforehand, but also for our trainers as well. And again, just to wear a bit of pink, or we can get the guys to, we can give them a bit of pink to wear. We'd like to make a donation to the breast cancer awareness. It's the month of May is their charity, and that would be a good way to wear a bit of pink and have some donation made to them.
Absolutely, and as I mentioned, it's always popular, the Mother's Day meeting here at Timaru. Of course, not only do you have the invited lady drivers races, which are always well supported by trainers, which we're of course very grateful for, but I notice a lot of people like to bring their mums out to the course, and it's a good excuse to come along to the races but also give mum something special for the day.
That's correct. Sometimes they come and line up for dinner, sometimes it's after dinner and they come out and bring out mums. It's also a lovely day for women that maybe do not have their mothers or are by themselves. Women groups come out and enjoy the day and celebrate. And to me in particular, last couple of years it's been celebrating our women in harness racing, especially our young women that are coming through, a lot of young women drivers, young women coming through, and I think it's important to recognise not just the drivers but the trainers and stable hands in the industry that are out there.
Yeah, and of course, if anyone has never been to a meeting here at Timaru or maybe looking for something to do on Mother's Day, we can't not mention the fantastic statue of Phar Lap out the front, because I think AA listed it on their website as one of the top 10 things that you need to see in New Zealand. So it's so special to have him tied to this racetrack, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I notice living next door, when you're walking through the racecourse, you notice people just coming in camper vans, on motorbikes, coming just to come and have a look at that horse. Yeah. He is absolutely beautiful, so he's certainly an attraction for the course. Yeah.
And on the club side of things, Liz, how long have you been involved with the Timaru Harness Racing Club now, or do we not ask?
I've been here, yes,
a long
while now, with a good team too, as well. There's others there as well. Actually, it was Gary that was asked to join the club originally, and he was busy at the time, and I said, oh, well, I'll do it. And I thought it was really important to recognise the owners, having sort of been an owner and experienced it. When you do have a win or have got a horse, you want to enjoy the moment and experience with someone too when you're by yourself. So I think that's what we try very hard to do, is look after our owners, people in the industry.
Oh, exactly. And you do a lot for kids as well. And over the summer periods, and today you've got the kids' lucky draw. And, families nowadays obviously really appreciate having that put on for them.
I think so. I think it's very important to encourage our young people on course, our young families. Sometimes it might be more just a day out, like with school holidays, but it's exposing them to horses and to the beauty of the horses and being there. That's something I've done when I was a young girl at races, and it's been a very important part of my journey, and I think it's important for other people's journey to enjoy the love of horses, or enjoy horses, see them in action.
Yeah. Oh, you do a fantastic fantastic job, you in the club and the committee, in terms of looking after people and being an owner with a horse. And today, you feel really appreciated by the club. So I do thank you all for the amazing work that you're doing. Recently got Club of the Month too, which was a really great award for you. You must be proud of that.
Yes, we were. It was quite a surprise. And thank you, Jess, for you and your group that coordinate that. I think that's a really good thing, because there's a lot of other clubs that do a very good job looking after people and owners as well. So, yeah, not just us, but no, we were delighted. I'm just waiting for the morning tea shout.
We'll suss something out for you. So just one last time, 12th of May, of course, Mother's Day meeting. If people are wanting to book a table or book, can they come on the day and just show up, or can they book as well?
They can book as well, but they can turn up on the day in the Greyway Lounge is where we'll be, and we'll offer a wee glass of bubbly to any of our ladies that are coming along, and also get your name in the draw for the Ron Brown Jewellers race, where we line up the women's names against the horses, and if your horse wins, you win the lucky gold watch, so that's always something to watch out for.
Airpark Canterbury is Christchurch's only 24/7 privately owned off-site airport car parking. If you feel strongly about supporting privately owned business, support Airpark Canterbury. It's only a short drive to the airport in the Airpark Canterbury free shuttle. So if you want the cheapest parking option around, try Airpark Canterbury. Call 0800 Airpark or online at airparkcanterbury.co.nz.
There's always a park for me at Airpark Canterbury.
We're live here for the Harness Half Hour in Timaru today, and Karen Tomlinson picking up a win with Sweet Mary. Congratulations. Understand first pacing win, remarkably.
Yeah. Thank you, Jess. Yeah, I've been wanting it for some time now. On Sweet Mary also helps. Also, the stable I work for, Brad and Mal, have been so good to me, giving me drives and that. And I wasn't sure about when I saw her in the nominations, because she's quite a good mare, and she should hopefully be in the Jewels as well. She's on the borderline there, and so I was very surprised that I got the drive to her, but real happy to get her home for them.
Oh, definitely. And you mentioned that you're working for Brad and Mal, and so how long have you been with the team there, Karen?
I've been working there since my last year of high school, and just working there in the weekends and holidays and that, and I did a bit of tripping around to some other stables, and then I went to Auckland to work for Barry Purdon, and went down south to work for Craig Ferguson, and I wanted to work for Brad Mowbray, because I just think I work for Brad and Steve Dolan, but yeah. I just think that they're very good trainers and that as well, and they definitely have given me a good opportunity, and especially driving Sweet Mary, she's a pretty good horse.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And in terms of course, you're coming from a family that's so well known in harness racing now, do you think it's important that you get out and break away from the family ties and do it for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Mum and Granddad have been real good to me with giving me Rock and Pop to drive, who's finished now. She's going to go foal now, but it's also pretty important that I also try and get drives elsewhere in that, so that's why I'm trying to go down to Invercargill and that, like I did yesterday, and try and get recognised down there.
Yeah. Do you find it that the travelling obviously must take a bit of a toll, or you're quite up for it these days?
I mean, I haven't got sick of it yet. A few people don't really like the Forbury trip, but I can't say I don't mind it. The only thing that will worry me if you go down there and the horses go no good. But this week my horses went real good, and I was real stoked coming home and that. And I love the travelling, so it doesn't worry me at all.
Yep. And 4 wins already for the season so far. Did you set a goal, Karen, when you set out the season, or do you just take it as it comes? I'm
just taking it as it comes. I was pretty happy about only getting 1 win this season. Now I'm up to 4, so that's pretty good. It took me a while to get to my first one, but now I'm off, I think.
Yeah. And obviously driving trotters and paces is 2 different ball games. Do you feel more comfortable with the trotters given your family's involvement, or do you take it either way?
No, I take it either way, really. I love the paces, because you feel more sturdy on them, really. But if you get on one of Mum and Granddad's trotters, generally they'll go all right too. Yeah.
And of course, kids' carts, you and Cherie and the whole family and Zane, you've all had great involvement with kids' carts. Do you see that as still being a really important part of the industry?
Oh, absolutely. You know, that's where our younger generation is going to come through, and most of the top junior drivers now all did the kids' carts and that, and they definitely learned to drive trotters and that as well. You know, and with instance, Sarah and Cherie and Johnny Morrison, they're all up there, and they all did the kids' carts and that, so I think it's good to do it.
Oh, absolutely. And just lastly, Kerryn, 4 wins already this season going forward. Have you got any goals, you know, any competitions that you'd like to make it into, any races in particular you'd like to compete in?
Not really. I mean, I'd love to get a trotter for the Darren Philippi. I think I'd love to get that. But, you know, I'm just taking every day as it comes, you know, try and get as many drives as I can everywhere I can get. Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks so much for your time today. I know you're busy, so well done with the win with Sweet Mary.
Thank you.
Airpark Canterbury is Christchurch's only 24/7 privately owned off-site airport car parking. If you feel strongly about supporting privately owned business, support Airpark Canterbury. It's only a short drive to the airport in the Airpark Canterbury free shuttle. So if you want the cheapest parking option around, try Airpark Canterbury. Call 0800 Airpark or online at airparkcanterbury.co.nz.
There's always a park for me at Airpark Canterbury.
We've got Wendy Norquist here for the harness half hour, and chatting to people here at Timaru on course today. Congratulations, spot on another game placing for you.
Thanks, Jess. No, he went really great, and down the last half and 55, it was always going to be nearest green sitting on our back, so we're really happy with that, and he'll have a good run at Addington on the 10th of May, and there's another 2600 metre stand, and he's so great off a stand, and we're sort of just keeping in stands because next year hopefully he'll be a good Country Cups horse, and I think he'll be quite competitive, and like he'll still only be 4, and really look forward to it, and he's so easy to manage, and he's just a joy to have in Johnny's stables. So our other horses are pretty hard going, but he's just easier and everyone loves him.
Oh, that's fantastic, and it's so good to have so much more to look forward to. And Wendy, we see you on the race course at so many different places. You've got horses racing at all levels, and Tiffany Rose coming up this Friday.
Yes, that's going to be a bit of pressure to get on a plane and go up and see her go. She's named after my daughter, and she was always a wee bit stroppy, so I thought I'll change her name from Malika to Tiffany Rose. Not that Tiffany sort of appreciated that, but it would just be so great to at least get in the money. We're hoping it would be lovely to win it, but we've got 4 big races, and just to get in the first 4 for the first one would be great, but to win would even be better. And the one I'd really love to win, everyone loves to win the Jewels, but I love to also come down and win the PGG in Addington, because Dizzy Miss Lizzie won that, my brother's horse, and Mum and Dad, and they're great supporters, and they're always here, and it'd be great to have them there. We're in Auckland, I'm sort of on my own, but any win or any placing is fantastic in a big race like that.
Oh, most certainly. And Wendy, can you tell our listeners, where did the harness racing journey begin for you? When did you get the bug?
Okay. Well, Mum and Dad, they've always had the Unique horses. They had Unique Star, and he won a lot of races, and we were always sort of dragged along to the races. I used to ride horses, but once it got to the stage that Dad needed the float, the riding horses disappeared, and I went to the races, and I was great friends with Penny Butt, or Penny Calder, and we used to truck along at all the race meetings, and then I met Carl Nordquist, and he had horses, and we just sort of bought our own, and then we sort of went our own ways, and I bought my own and carried on, and my brother, he's got his own, and we're all independent. I've got Johnny training, and Mum and Dad have Murray Edmonds, and Peter has Nigel, so it's great rivalry, but we're all pretty separate.
I was going to say, how does Christmas lunch go, especially if you've got horses racing on those circuits?
Well, Dad probably calls the shots, so we probably listen more, but because we're so independent, everyone sort of just likes to see each other's go, and Mum and Dad are fantastic supporters, and they're getting older now, and it's great, to have the young horses and them doing well. So, hopefully onwards and upwards.
You're quite active at the yearling sales and purchasing horses. How much involvement do you have with the selection, or do you leave it to Robert, or how does that go about?
I'm pretty involved with it. This year I was probably a wee bit one-sided. I wanted to have Spot's full brother, and I wanted to have the half-sister to Tiffany Rose, so I didn't actually look at any others this year, and we were just hoping that we could buy them, that they didn't go too expensive. And Spot's brother, well, he only made 21, so we sort of felt that it was a bit of a steal. And I didn't really have anyone bidding against me, so I don't know whether it was probably a good thing. And Tiffany Rose's half-sister, I've actually ended up going half shares with Charlie Templeton because he owns Nakuru, which is the other half-sister, so we had to compromise and go 50-50. But yeah, he's a great fella and we get on really good, and we're hoping we might have some luck with her, and she's called Shanika.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Well, you're certainly acquiring quite an eclectic and beautiful collection of horses. Wendy, in your involvement in harness racing, has there been a moment or a race that's really stood out for you personally?
I think for myself, like just even getting Spot and getting them to the races, probably the most exciting was Tiffany Rose, getting her going. And she's been so consistent. They're really hard to have horses be consistent. I think probably the highlight was Christmas Eve when Spot won at Ashburton first start as a 2-year-old, and Any Time also won first start as well. So to get 2 winners on Christmas Eve just over a year ago, that was pretty exciting. And yeah, and they paid good money, and I usually have a little bet, sometimes a little bit bigger than other times, but yeah, sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. But I think the most exciting at the moment, and probably nerve-wracking, is seeing Tiffany Rose, and with her being named after my daughter. It would be extra special if she won one of the big races.
Yeah, and I guess looking forward, Harness Jewels, something like that is a goal for you?
Yes, it would be lovely to win the Harness Jewels, but there'll be a full field of other fillies that are just as good, and I think it'll all come back to the draw. And if she draws 9 or if she drew 2, I think it could very easily be a different result. So really each week when the draws come out, it's sort of fingers crossed and not wanting to look at the text to see what draw she has got. But this week we can't complain, we've got 3, so we're just hoping we may have a wee bit of luck.
And to anyone listening at the moment, Wendy, and maybe they've considered getting involved in ownership and thought maybe it's out of reach, maybe a syndicate's the best option for them, what would you say to someone that's kind of on the fence about getting involved in it?
Okay, I love harness racing, and really it's taken over. I'm an accountant, and going to work as an accountant and going to the races, well, there's really no comparison, and as they'll tell you, I've probably lost a bit of interest. But syndicates are not for everybody. They are great for people who just want to go along and have a wee bit of fun, because it's a very expensive hobby, and the better, the so-called higher up level trainers you have, a lot more expensive it is, and it's definitely not for the faint-hearted, because you do get a lot of ups and downs. But if you're just wanting it for a bit of fun, syndicates are probably the way to go. I am in the Westview Syndicate with Nigel and Brenda, my friends, but I must say it's not really my thing, as I'll tell you, but I just go along so we can to support them as well. But I'm not really a syndicate person, but a majority of people just wanting to get in and have a bit of fun, and it's a great day out, and you meet so many people. I've met a lot of people.
But obviously harness racing, getting involved, it's about the emotions it gives you, isn't it?
Oh, there's nothing like a win, and getting second sometimes feels like last. But really, when you finish down the track, second's not so bad. So I think, nowadays the racing is very tough, and they go very good times. So I think if you can get in the first 4, I think you've got to be happy.
Well, congratulations today. Another well-earned check by Spot On, and good luck with Tiffany Rose.
Thank you very much, Jess.
Well, of course, at this stage of the podcast every week we chat to harness racing bookmaker Richard Wilson, and again, Richard, another busy week for you and the team, and we started off last Tuesday first and foremost.
Yeah, strange old week, races on days that we don't usually have harness racing, but it was a bit different. But it started off Tuesday there, good start for us, 8 races at Invercargill, a few upsets there. The best bet of the day there, 2,600 to run the top 3, Delight and Gold at $4.80. That was a beauty, so that one hurt us quite a bit. And so did the win of Southern Rain. There was $900 and 2 $500 bets at the $3, a $665 bet at $260. They were the tip of a decent go there. We managed to dodge a big bullet with Miss Fandango in race 7, $5,000 on there at $2.80, the largest bet of the day, and a couple of other misses, $1,500 on Liberty Stride at $2.40, $650 and $500 bets on the Optimist at $1.55, but there was a whole ton of multis on that one as well, so it was good to those ones missed out.
Yeah, and it was an odd week, as you mentioned, of course, with Anzac Day being held on Thursday, so no harness meeting, which meant on Wednesday we had Timaru at the Phar Lap Raceway.
Yeah, and there was a big plunge there too, Jess. Debutant 2-year-old Cranbourne, he powered home to win race 9. He was opened at $8.50, but that price didn't last very long. As soon as we opened at 5:30 the day before, $100 bets just started flowing in at that $8.50. A $900 bet at $6 was the best bet, and that was placed at $5.45. So he was on the move inwards straight away, and other bets there, $600 at $4.50, $2,000 and a $700 bet, and another $600 at all at $3.80, and almost $200 single bets on that one. So terrible result there, race 9. Other decent clicks on the day, $1,400 near a screen at $2.90. 2,800 on Fancy at $2.70 and 2,000 at $2.60, and there was 2,000 on Got a Future to run in the top 3 at $3.20. Luckily for us, there was a couple of misses. 3,500 on Hot Staff at $3, 3,000 on Mr. Fahrenheit at $2.15 to run the top 3, and a $3,000 bet Shatura at $1.85.
Yeah, and of course Friday night, which was Premier Harness Racing at Alexandra Park. Was it a punters' night at the office there, Richard?
It sort of was. There was some upsets, but there was a few canny punters were on the upset hopes, so it really was a tough night for us. Not much between the best bets on the night. 6,500 on Spankum at $2.50 and 5,000 on Have Time at $3.10. So not much between there. There was $9,500 bet on Amazing Dream. Lucky for us, it was on the top 3 market, $1.32 to run the top 3, and not on the win where she was about $8. So that was a good one. $2,000 on Forget the Price Tag at $3.90, $1,500 Kenny's Dream at $3.20, and $1,100 Tiffany Rose to run the top 3 at $3.40. They were all good. The biggest misses there, $9,000 Enhance Your Calm at $1.45, and $5,000 Massive Metro at $1.75 to run the top 3. 4,300 Bonnie Highlander at $3.80, $3,000 on Tiger Swift at $5, and $2,500 each way Resonate at $8.50 and $2.70. They helped us out a bit, but there was good support for the like of those upset horses we talked about. Tickle Me Pink was 26 into 16, so that was no good for us. And as I say, Spankum was well back to win the feature.
Yeah, and of course we've got feature harness back at Alexandra Park this week, and we'll talk more about that shortly. But Saturday, Diamonds Day at Invercargill, of course, we all know it's your former stomping ground. Richard and you would have been thrilled with the calibre of racing that came out of there on Saturday.
Yeah, some great performances there, very promising horses coming through. U May Cullect bolted in again there. There was bets 5,000 and 15,000 on him at the $1.15. He was into $1.12. He's never in doubt. It's hard to see which horse is going to beat him really until he gets right up into the top grades. Other big returns on the day, Delightful Deal, $600 at 6 and a $2,000 bet at $5.50. It was a great day for Kirstin Barclay and Tank Ellis. They won 4. Paddy Proudfoot, he was no good for us, 5,000 on there at $2.70, as well as $1,000 bets at $2.70, $2.60 and $2.50. And Chuckles, the other one that they got a result with there in the last, $250 on at 12, $1,100 at $3.20 to run the top 3. So it beat the favourite. The favourite was well back there in the last, but Chuckles wasn't much better for us. And Memphis, Tennessee justified his favouritism to win the Southern Supremacy. $3,000 on there at $3.50, $1,000 and $1,200 bets at $3.40. Luckily, again, a few misses. $3,000 on Forgotten Highway at $1.85. Couple of $2,000 bets on Pitch Perfect at $2.60, and Kendra was well back to win the Oaks, $5,000 at $2.10, $4,000 at $2, the largest bets on her.
Okay, and on Sunday we had the mighty Cambridge meeting, the Waikato Bay of Plenty Harness Racing Club, and not many big bets there by the looks of things, Richard.
No, the big punters were loaded up and decided to keep it, I think, when Sunday came around. Some good returns nonetheless. 2,200 on About Turn to run the top three at $1.60. 2,000 on Romanite to win the last at $1.95. 2,000 on Cheeky Babe at $1.95. And a couple of $1,000 bets on Eagle Watch at $1.80, $1.75. So those ones were all good for the punters. A couple of misses there. 2,000 on About Turn to win at $4. 2,000 Blissful at $4.50. $1,300 on Harvey Spectre at $15. And $1,000 on Just Wing It at $3.60.
And of course, each week we check out the multi and cash out bests and worsts of the week. In terms of a multi of the week, what have you found, Richard?
Yeah, this is a beauty, this one, Jess. $50 multi, 3 legs on Saturday down there in Invercargill. I hope this person got the quaddie. He was all over the last 3 races. Vintage Cheddar at $9.50, Memphis, Tennessee at $3.50, and Chuckles in the last at $12. That $50 3-leg multi turned into $19,950.
Oh my God, that is absolutely phenomenal. Well done to that punter. And worst cash out of the week?
The worst one that I could find there, $100 again, 3-leg multi. My Uptown Girl at $10. Eagle Watch at $1.70, both at Cambridge. And then they were ending on Penny Mac at the Auckland Greyhounds at $1.40. That would have returned $2,380, but they got the wobbles there and decided to cash out before Penny Mac ran for. Still collected $1,466. Not a bad return at all, but Penny Mac absolutely bolted in, so let us off the hook a little bit there.
Yeah, they would have struggled watching that race, I'm sure. And best cash out of the week, who made the right call?
There was a $100 4-leg multi. This is a bit of a cross-code effort here. Burning the Clock at $1.85 at the Werribee Gallops. Mercelina, $1.90 at Port Macquarie. Then Versailles at the Addington Greyhounds, $1.40. So you're looking pretty good there. You got 3 up, and you're ending on Enhance Your Calm at $1.35 at Alexandra Park. That return there for the $100 was $664, but of course Enhance Your Calm didn't win, and this punter wisely cashed out before that happened for $415. So very smart there. Yeah,
exactly. And in terms of the week ahead, as mentioned, we've got feature racing at Alexandra Park, but another busy one.
We've got harness today at the Wairarapa Cup meeting today, Manawatu, and then Manawatu again Thursday. Big night Friday night at Auckland, Row Cup and the Messenger, Trotting Derby, and the 2-year-old filly champs. Addington, they got the 2-year-old Open Sales Series final there as well, so it's a big race. And then on Saturday, Invercargill again, and Sunday is Rangiora.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, futures markets, Harness Jewels, IRT Harness Jewels, you can check them out, tab.co.nz. But looks like some big early bets in the wake of U May Collect's race win on Saturday.
Yeah, he was $1.15, so he was expected to win, and we resisted the temptation to get him in any further, but he remains at 18 to win the New Zealand Cup, and quite remarkably, he's actually the second best back to win the race. So the punters are flocking. He's gathering a bit of a following for sure, as You May Collect. And the other decent bet there in the Jewels, a clever one, before Friday night, $1,000 on Tickle Me Pink at 21 to win the Jewels there, and now she's into 8.
Okay, so check that out, tab.co.nz, of course, for those Harness Jewels markets and the New Zealand Cup. Richard, thank you so much as always. I know now you've got to go and frame those markets and take bets on the Wairarapa meeting today in Palmerston North, so thanks for your time as always.
Yep, no worries, yes, and just for the punters there today, Such Fun's well backed in race 1, 320 into 270. And the other one, the decent bet just come in, $800 on Ruby Star to win race 6 at $11.
And what's coming up harness racing wise this week in New Zealand? Tuesday we have Wairarapa Harness Racing at Palmerston North, first day of their meet on Tuesday. Thursday we'll see day 2, but that's for the Manawatu Harness Racing Club at Palmerston North. Friday night the big one at Alexandra Park, it is Row Cup and New Zealand Messenger night. Also Addington supporting in their role, and they've got the Yelling Sales Open there at Addington Raceway. Saturday we're back to Ascot Park with Invercargill action, and on Sunday North Canterbury for the Rangiora Harness Racing Club. And that's it for this week's Harness Half Hour. Thanks to Airpark Canterbury and HRNZ Marketing. Don't forget the Harness Half Hour podcast is available on the HRNZ website, Harness Racing New Zealand Facebook page, on the Punters Lounge on tab.co.nz, via Spotify and also iTunes.